Hey starlings, let's talk about this full moon in Aries. I'm Vanessa Montgomery from Astro All-Starz with a Z, and you're in the Transit Lounge with me. So this full moon is at 24 degrees Aries. Check your birth chart. What's happening there? Is it conjuncting, merging with something at around 24 Aries? Is it opposite something in Libra, square, trine, or sextile? What house is 24 degrees Aries in your birth chart? That's where everything gets grounded for you. If you just look at it in the world, that's called mundane astrology. But if you want to make it personal, we're grounding it into your birth chart. So check it out. Check out my book, Star Power by Vanessa Montgomery, to learn more about your birth chart so you understand that. And Astro Power to learn more about transits, because that's what we're talking about here, the transiting, the movement of the planets. So 24 degrees Aries, this one is complicated. So Aries itself, of course, is the baby of the zodiac. It's the first sign, it's a fire sign, and it is full of get up and go. It's a just do it energy. It's very confident and just wants to go at it. It's ruled by Mars, the deity of war. We'll get to that. So this one is complicated because, it just wants to get up and go. That's the energy fueling. Full moons are always opposite the sun. So 24 degrees Libra, the sun is sitting there. So this is about a relationship. You want to get up and go. There's partnership involved. There are other people involved here. So this is a really good place to start. So it's all about balancing the me versus the we. You as an individual and your journey with your relationships, your significant relationships, one-on-ones. You could partner up and be a dynamic duo, fantastic, but there's still you. One and one makes two, not one. So don't lose yourself or abandon yourself for a relationship to keep the harmony. And that's part of this duality here. The sun in Libra, of course, it's ruled by Venus, Libra. So it's war and peace. That's a really big theme. War and peace, me and you, conflict and harmony. So this full moon is conjunct Chiron. That's a really key signature. And Chiron has themes of abandonment and fostering and mentoring, on the high road, mentoring. So look at where you might be abandoning yourself for relationships, that sun in Libra, and try to turn it around to mentoring yourself or finding a mentor to work with or becoming that mentor as well. You know, I always like to think of what I learned about AA when I was looking up Chiron, when I was writing my first book. And they were heavily, the people that founded AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, not Astrological Association, they were really dominant in Chiron in their birth charts. And I thought that was really interesting. I did feel like I was onto something there. So what I learned from looking further into it is that the mentor actually benefits the most, more than the mentee. Isn't that amazing? So in AA, you have a mentor that you can talk or call or talk to if you're feeling stress or crisis. So this is definitely a crisis moon, but crisis always leads to healing, or it can do, the positive side. And of course, Chiron is called the wounded healer. So you end up learning through experience and embodiment, like some kind of wounding, and then you become a healer of that just naturally because you understand it. And that's where that mentoring can come through. And of course, one of the archetypes was Chiron, who lived in a cave and taught all of the heroic people that we know from Greek myths, or men. It was a bit separatist, well, very separatist, but you get the picture. So there's a lot to this one. The other complications with this one is that it's in a grand square, a grand cardinal square, and squares are really tense. They're the most tense. There's just nowhere for the energy to go. It's all blocking. So squaring it is Pluto in Capricorn on one side of the square and Mars in Cancer on the other. So Mars and Pluto, that's a bust up. That is violent. It's very violent, actually. It's a bit abusive. It's not fun when those two are together. And then that Chiron on the moon. So the moon represents emotions, where you go to feel safe, trying to secure emotional security, also family connection, basically your feelings. So there's a wounding around that safety and the place that one might go for safety, which is to be a solo hero, basically. So with Pluto and Mars squaring, Mars is the ruler of Aries, so it's the ruler of this moon. So it's this moon's own ruler is squaring it in a tense, conflicting aspect. The square means they're moving at odds against each other. So your action or the action is at odds with actually the emotional needs and for safety and security. And you always look in at the build up to a full moon in your own life, or you can look around in the world. And I think that whole conflict in Gaza, there was a big firebomb where people were lining up for food handouts. So to me, that is a fairly extreme representation of how sort of the violence and the fire and the pain and around food as well with that one. It was a very sad but interesting signature. So, I'm hoping not, more doesn't escalate over this moon, which it has been, no surprise. And it's, it's not just going to come through there. It can come through a myriad of ways in your own life or in the world. So it depends how it falls in your chart. Hopefully it's not picking up anything and pulling in your birth chart placements into the square. But if it is, the best thing is to be mindful and do not be drawn into a drama. Do not be drawn into a drama because it's so combustible. This one's just so combustible. So calm it down, drink water, reflect, take that space between responding and think about it first. But there is an action principle here. So, but it still helps to think, okay, is this getting me where I want to go, really, in the best possible way? What might be another way to do it? And perhaps that's where the Libra comes in. Think about it. Think about the balance, plan, rather than just bust out. So what else do I have in my notes? So the new Aries moon this year was April 8th or 9th, wherever you live. That's the week after Easter, if that helps. So that was also a solar eclipse. So no wonder we're having such an intense vibe on this one. That's where that comes from. So you may or may not have been manifesting at the time. A lot of people don't on eclipses because they say they're hard to control the outcome. It's too much of a wild card. So think about what you were doing then. Personally, I moved 2 days after that to Brisbane. Here I am from the Gold Coast. And so this is like the half year check-in, sort of like the reaping of a cycle, the first year of that cycle, or the 6 months of the first year of that cycle. So it's that 6 month peak. So think about your harvest on this moon and what is happening for you. Definitely feel into any conflict or crisis you've had or frustration. I can feel a bit of frustrated energy and I feel like I need to exercise more. Aries is really physical. So going to the gym, doing hard exercise, doing some yoga, at least going for a walk, using your body and getting physical really helps to get out this kind of tension. All right. So the other thing we have is, what else can I say about this? Yes, I'm not yelling. I'm just passionate. Aries is a very passionate energy and it could come across as pretty loud. It's very flamboyant. I think the competition, get competitive, get action, take action around a goal. Aries is very competitive and goal oriented, really competing against the self, but it likes to win. This sign likes to win. So yeah, set yourself a goal, have a brainstorming session with some friends. What do you want to do? Like use this energy and direct it. It's very, very powerful and it really does need a goal or it's just kind of going to slap back. So again, that Chiron is there. So just watch that sensitive point and enjoy the energy, direct it, get physical. It's a super moon. It's actually the biggest, brightest, closest of the year. So get out and check it out. All right. Stay cosmic, starlings. This is Vanessa Montgomery from Astro All-Stars.